The most perplexing part of this experience is that you are doing everything right according to conventional wisdom. You avoid caffeine late in the day, you have a quiet, dark room, and you stick to a consistent sleep schedule. So why do you often feel mentally clearer in the late afternoon than you do first thing in the morning after a complete night of rest? It's a contradiction that doesn't seem to make sense. The easy answer, the one many of us tell ourselves, is that it's simply a non-negotiable part of aging. We assume our brain is like an old engine, destined to run a little rougher each year. But what I have learned through my work is that this assumption often misses a critical piece of the puzzle. This morning fog isn't always an inevitable decline. Frequently, it's a signal that a specific vital process is not getting the support it needs to function optimally. For over 20 years, my focus has been on the science of healthy aging, specifically how our daily habits influence our long-term cognitive vitality. I've had conversations with countless individuals over 60 who describe this exact pattern of waking up tired and mentally cloudy despite their best efforts. I want to reassure you that this is not a reflection of your intelligence or a personal failure. It's a biological phenomenon. Your brain isn't broken or worn out. Its internal systems are simply operating under a different set of rules than they did when you were younger. The core issue is often a subtle mismatch, a disconnect between what your brain's nightly maintenance crew requires to do its job effectively and the resources it's being provided with right before you go to sleep. It's a small, overlooked detail that can make a world of difference in how you feel when you wake up. In this video, we are going to explore exactly what that maintenance process is and why it can become less efficient as we get older. I will reveal a surprisingly common evening habit that many people consider harmless or even healthy, but which may be unintentionally preventing your brain from completing its most essential cleanup task. This is the invisible factor that can leave you feeling foggy and slow. And most importantly, I am going to share a simple, practical adjustment you can make to your routine starting tonight. It's not a complicated regimen or a magic pill, but rather a strategic change that provides your brain with the precise tools it needs at the exact time it needs them. The goal is to help you wake up feeling that your mind is clearer, sharper, and ready for the day ahead, restoring confidence in your own cognitive power. Before we delve into the science behind your brain's nightly cleaning crew, I want to invite you to connect with this community. If the feeling of morning brain fog is something you've experienced, please take a moment to write "I understand" in the comments below. It's a powerful reminder that you are not alone in this journey and that many others are seeking the same clarity. And if you are committed to finding simple, evidence-based ways to support your brain health and age with vibrancy, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and click the like button. Your engagement lets me know that this content is valuable to you and helps ensure you won't miss future insights. Now, let's uncover what is truly happening inside your brain during those crucial hours of sleep and why it holds the key to a clearer morning. To understand what's happening, I want you to imagine your brain as a bustling, vibrant workshop. All day long, your brain cells, or neurons, are firing, communicating, and managing everything from your thoughts and memories to your heartbeat and balance. This incredible activity is like a master craftsman at work, building, creating, and problem solving. But just like any busy workshop, this process generates byproducts. Think of it as fine sawdust, leftover scraps, and general debris that accumulates throughout the workday. This cellular trash, composed of metabolic waste products, is a perfectly normal consequence of a brain that is active and engaged. It's not a sign of a problem. It's the sign of a brain that is living and working hard for you every single second of the day. The key isn't to stop the work, but to manage the cleanup effectively. Now, when you go to sleep at night, it's not just about resting your body. This is when a specialized, highly intelligent cleaning crew arrives in your brain's workshop. Scientists call this the glymphatic system. Its job is to methodically sweep through the intricate pathways of your brain, collecting and flushing out all the metabolic debris that accumulated during the day. This process is most powerful and effective during the deepest stages of sleep. It's a fundamental maintenance cycle that resets your brain, clears the communication lines between your neurons, and prepares the workshop for another productive day. This is why deep restorative sleep is so critical for feeling mentally sharp. It's not simply about shutting down, it's about a very active and essential period of tidying up, repairing, and resetting the entire system for optimal performance. As we get older, this highly efficient cleaning crew doesn't disappear, but it can become a little less robust. Think of the crew as having worked diligently for many decades. They might move a bit slower, or their equipment might not be as powerful as it once was. This is a natural shift in efficiency. The system still works, but it may not be able to clear out the day's debris with the same speed and thoroughness it once did. This means that a small amount of that cellular trash might be left behind each morning. It's not a catastrophic failure. It's a subtle decline in operational performance. This is why a sleep routine that worked perfectly for you at 30 or 40 might not yield the same feeling of mental clarity at 60 or 70. Your brain's needs have changed, and its internal support systems require a different kind of assistance to get the job done right. So, what exactly is this cellular trash that our cleaning crew is working so hard to remove? In simple terms, it's a collection of waste proteins and other metabolic byproducts that can gunk up the works. When these particles linger, they can interfere with the clean, crisp electrical signals that pass between your brain cells. Imagine trying to have a clear phone conversation with static on the line. The message might get through, but it's slower, distorted, and requires more effort to understand. This is what happens in the brain. The communication becomes less fluid, less immediate. The result is that feeling of slowness, that frustrating delay when you're trying to recall a name, or that sense of a fog that clouds your thoughts. It's not that the information is gone, it's just that the pathways to access it are temporarily cluttered. This brings us to a crucial point that is often overlooked. Your brain's nightly cleaning crew doesn't just need time to work, it needs the right tools for the job. Specifically, it relies on a steady supply of very particular compounds, potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatory phytonutrients, to do its work effectively. Let's go back to our workshop analogy. If the crew only has a bucket of plain water, they can wipe down the surfaces, but they can't dissolve the really tough, greasy grime. They need a specialized, concentrated cleaning solution to break down the most stubborn debris and leave the workshop truly spotless. These powerful phytonutrients act as that specialized solution. They help neutralize oxidative stress, a form of cellular rust, and calm inflammation, allowing the glymphatic system to flush away the waste much more efficiently. When these specific tools are not available in your system during those critical nighttime hours, the cleanup process is incomplete. The crew does the best it can with what it has, but some of that residual metabolic debris remains lodged between the neurons. So you wake up after a full night's sleep, but your brain's workshop is still slightly cluttered. The communication lines are not as clear as they could be. This is the biological root of that morning fog. It's not a sign that your brain is permanently damaged or failing. It is a direct physiological consequence of an inefficient cleaning cycle. Your brain is essentially starting the day with some of yesterday's clutter still lying around, making it harder to think clearly, focus, and feel mentally agile from the moment you open your eyes. This finally explains the frustrating contradiction we talked about earlier, sleeping for a full 8 hours, yet waking up feeling mentally sluggish. The duration of your sleep is only one part of the equation. The other, equally important part is the quality and effectiveness of the maintenance work performed during that time. If the cleaning crew shows up for their full 8-hour shift but lacks the high-potency cleaning solution they need, they simply can't restore the workshop to its optimal state. This is why you can feel mentally heavier in the morning than you did the previous afternoon. By late afternoon, your brain has had hours to warm up and work around the clutter, but in the morning, you're facing that initial state of inefficiency head-on. The most important takeaway from this is that the morning fog you may be experiencing is not necessarily an irreversible sentence of aging. It's a signal. It's your brain telling you that its natural, brilliant maintenance process isn't getting the specific support it now requires to function at its best. The problem isn't a brain that's worn out, but rather a system that is missing a key ingredient for its nightly upkeep. This shifts our perspective entirely. Instead of feeling helpless in the face of cognitive changes, we can start to see it as a solvable puzzle. We can ask a new, more empowering question. What is this simple, missing tool? And how can we provide it to our brain's cleaning crew at exactly the right time to help them do their job? So, where is this disconnect happening? The invisible error often lies in a habit that seems utterly harmless, even comforting. The small, simple snack we have in the evening before bed. I'm talking about something like a couple of plain crackers, a dry biscuit, or a small bowl of a simple, unsweetened cereal. We do it to quiet a little hunger pang or as part of a winding down ritual. It feels light, responsible, and certainly not like a decadent dessert that would disrupt our sleep. The problem isn't that these foods are inherently bad. The problem is what they are not. This habit represents a critical, missed opportunity. It's a moment when we could be providing our brain with the exact tools it needs for its most important job of the day, but instead, we are giving it something that is functionally empty for that specific task. It's a case of chronological nutrient mismatch. The right time, but the wrong tool. You might be thinking, how can a simple cracker be a problem? It's not sugar, it's not heavy, and it helps me feel settled enough to sleep. And that logic is completely understandable. This is why the error is so invisible. The issue isn't about adding something harmful, it's about the profound absence of something helpful. That plain snack provides calories and can temporarily satisfy your stomach, but it is devoid of the potent, specialized phytonutrients, the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that your brain's cleaning crew desperately needs to perform its job effectively. You are essentially sending your maintenance team into the workshop for their most important shift of the night, but you've forgotten to supply them with the high-potency cleaning solution required to break down the toughest grime. It's a subtle but powerful omission that has a direct impact on the quality of the cleanup. Let's return to our workshop analogy for a moment. Giving your brain a snack of refined carbohydrates before bed is like handing that cleaning crew a bucket of plain water and a dry rag. They can go through the motions, maybe wipe up some of the lightest dust, but the stubborn, greasy buildup of metabolic waste and oxidative stress is left behind. They simply don't have the right equipment. The crew is there, the time is allocated, but the job remains incomplete. This is the core of the issue. Your brain is primed and ready for this deep cleaning cycle during sleep, but without the necessary antioxidant compounds circulating in your system, the glymphatic system's efficiency is significantly handicapped. It can't neutralize the cellular rust or effectively flush out the protein debris that clutters the communication pathways between your neurons. The most immediate consequence of this incomplete cleaning cycle is exactly what you feel the next morning. You wake up, and instead of mental clarity, you experience that familiar heaviness, that frustrating fog. It's the direct result of starting your day with yesterday's metabolic clutter still lingering in your brain. This is why you might struggle to organize your thoughts for the day ahead, find yourself searching for a common word that's right on the tip of your tongue, or feel a wave of frustration when you forget a simple task you had just planned to do. It's not a sign of your memory failing. It's a symptom of inefficient overnight maintenance. Your brain's communication lines are filled with static, making every mental task feel just a little bit harder, a little bit slower, and a little more taxing than it should. Over time, this single night of inefficient cleanup begins to compound. Imagine that workshop where a little bit of grime is left behind every single night. Day after day, week after week, that residue builds up, making the entire environment less functional. In the brain, this accumulative effect is significant. Scientific understanding suggests that this inefficient nightly clearing of metabolic waste is associated with a faster buildup of cellular damage. While this is not a diagnosis, it points to a pattern where the brain's environment becomes less healthy over the long term, which can contribute to a more noticeable decline in cognitive function as the years go by. What begins as subtle morning fog can, over time, develop into a more persistent state of mental sluggishness, making it harder to maintain that sharpness and vitality we all value so deeply. This gradual decline has a very real impact on your daily life and your confidence. It can manifest as a hesitation to join in on fast-paced conversations, fearing you won't be able to find the right words quickly enough. It might show up as a reluctance to learn a new skill, like how to use a new application on your phone or computer, because the process feels overwhelming and frustrating. This general slowing down isn't just an internal feeling. It can begin to limit your engagement with the world. You might start to avoid complex problem-solving situations or shy away from activities that require sharp focus, not because you lack the intelligence, but because the mental effort required feels exhausting. It's a subtle retreat that can shrink your world and your sense of capability over time. There can even be a physical manifestation of this internal state. While it's subtle, persistent mental fatigue can affect your appearance. Think about the difference in how you look after a truly restorative night's sleep versus a poor one. When the brain's cleanup is efficient, you often wake up with a brighter look, a sharpness in your eyes that reflects a well-rested mind. Conversely, when you're constantly waking up with that internal fog, it can translate to a visible look of strain or tiredness, a lack of vitality that others may perceive as you aging more quickly. It's as if the effort of trying to think through the clutter shows on your face, robbing you of that vibrant, engaged appearance that comes from a mind that feels clear, sharp, and ready. Now, hearing all of this might feel a bit discouraging, but I want you to see it from a different perspective. This is actually a message of incredible hope. The problem we've been discussing is not a fundamental flaw in your brain's design or an irreversible consequence of the number of birthdays you've had. Instead, it's a logistical problem, a simple case of the right workers not having the right tools for a critical job. This means we are not powerless. We don't have to accept morning brain fog as our new normal. By understanding this mechanism, we can shift from a strategy of trying to force our brain to wake up with stimulants to a much smarter strategy, providing it with precisely what it needs to perform its own natural, brilliant restoration process. The solution, as you'll see, is not about deprivation or a complex diet. It's about a simple, strategic, and even delicious addition. The solution, then, is beautifully simple and wonderfully direct. It is not about deprivation or eliminating things you enjoy. Instead, it is about a strategic and powerful addition. The adjustment involves introducing a small portion, about half a cup, of a specific type of fruit as the very last thing you eat for the day. We are talking about dark-skinned berries, like blueberries or blackberries, or even tart cherries. These fruits are nature's most concentrated sources of the very antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds we've been discussing. By consuming them in the evening, you are quite literally handing your brain's cleaning crew that specialized, high-potency cleaning solution they need to break down the cellular debris and leave your mental workshop sparkling clean and ready for the morning. It's a small act with a profound biological purpose. Now, how you consume this fruit is just as important as what you consume. For this strategy to be most effective, it's best to eat this small portion of berries or cherries on its own. I know it can be tempting to mix them into a bowl of yogurt or cereal, but doing so can create a competing metabolic demand. When you consume them with dairy, sugar, or refined grains, your body also has to manage a rise in blood sugar, which can divert resources and energy away from the brain's deep repair and cleaning processes. The goal here is singular: to deliver these powerful phytonutrients to your brain with as little metabolic distraction as possible. Think of it as sending a specialist to do a very specific job. You want to clear the way so they can work uninterrupted and with maximum efficiency. The timing of this new habit is also a critical piece of the puzzle. The ideal window to enjoy your small portion of dark fruit is about 30 to 60 minutes before you plan to go to bed. This timing is not arbitrary. It allows enough time for your body to digest the fruit and for those vital, brain-supporting compounds to be absorbed and begin circulating in your bloodstream. As you then drift into the deepest stages of sleep, which is when the glymphatic system kicks into high gear, the cleaning crew has immediate access to the high-potency tools it needs. You are synchronizing the delivery of the solution with the start of the work shift, ensuring the crew is fully equipped from the moment they arrive, ready to perform the most thorough cleanup possible. It's important to approach this adjustment with both consistency and patience. This is not a magic pill that will transform your cognitive function overnight. Rather, it is a gradual process of supporting your brain's natural maintenance cycle more effectively. By consistently providing these tools night after night, you allow the cumulative effect of a more efficient cleanup to take hold. Many people begin to notice subtle but meaningful shifts in their morning mental clarity within about 2 to 3 weeks. It might start as a feeling of being slightly less groggy, or realizing that it takes a little less time to feel fully switched on for the day. The key is to make this a reliable part of your evening ritual, allowing that nightly restoration to become progressively deeper and more complete. So, what should you be looking for? The functional benefit we are aiming for is a distinct change in how you feel when you open your eyes in the morning. The goal is to wake up feeling that your mind is clearer, more settled, and less cluttered. It's about shortening that frustrating gap between waking up and feeling truly alert and capable. You might notice that it becomes just a little bit easier to organize your thoughts for the day ahead, or that the right word you're searching for during a morning conversation comes to you more readily. Excited. These are not dramatic, earth-shattering changes at first, but they are the tangible signs that your brain's communication pathways are becoming clearer, free from the static of leftover metabolic waste, allowing your mind to function with greater ease and fluidity. I want to leave you with a powerful and reassuring truth. Your body is designed to heal and respond, no matter your age. The idea that we are simply in a state of inevitable decline after 60 is a myth that disempowers us. Your brain's fundamental systems are still working for you. They just require a more tailored and intelligent kind of support than they did decades ago. This small adjustment is not about trying to turn back the clock. It is about listening to your body's evolving needs and providing it with the precise resources it requires to perform its essential functions well. It is an act of partnership with your own biology, a testament to the fact that your body retains an incredible capacity for positive change when given the right tools. Ultimately, understanding this mechanism returns a sense of control to you. The morning fog that may have felt like a frightening and mysterious symptom of aging now has a clear, logical explanation, reassuring, and with that explanation comes a clear, simple, and proactive step you can take. You are no longer a passive observer of these changes. You are an active participant in your own cognitive well-being. By making this one small, strategic change to your evening routine, you are directly supporting your brain's health and vitality. You are replacing a habit of missed opportunity with a habit of profound support, giving yourself the best possible chance to wake up feeling sharper, clearer, and more confident in the power of your own mind.